I believe that the average person is keenly aware of what's going on, which is why at Union Square, there are displays like this that happened the other day that doesn't get covered by corporate media, but it will be covered by us. Now, for those of you wondering who is sitting at this wonderful Thanksgiving feast of a table, you have two sides of the same coin with the real president in the middle. So you have Netanyahu Milikowski in the middle. You have former president, in name only, Biden to his direct left. And then to his far left, you have the real president of the United States, Tony Blinken. And to his right, you have the current president of the United States, the Donald. And to his immediate right, you have, well, I can't say Marco Rubio is the biggest war hawk in the GOP. Lindsey Graham probably still owns that title. But Marco Rubio, without question, is a yes man for the military-industrial complex. So as you can see, this is a very fitting dinner party. And what are they feasting on, Tony? Do you have any idea what's at that table?
Probably the American bald eagle.
That's a good guess, but you would be wrong. It's actually the limbs of Palestinian children. And
wow.
The blood of Palestinian children is what they're drinking. So let's watch a little more. We wonder how they did it. But
yeah, that was that's Harzami Barmada. She's fantastic. She does demonstrations and things like that are they hit you hard, and she's pretty courageous in some of the demonstrations she's done in DC that I've had the honor of being present for and also participating in. But that is her creative work, and I encourage every American to get out there and exercise your constitutional right of protest, petition, and air grievance, and you can be creative doing it. I mean, that's fantastically creative and hard-hitting.
Can you explain to the audience the importance? You know, people say that protesting is overrated, and I would agree it is, but I think it depends on where you do it. Can you discuss the importance of protesting in our nation's capital versus protesting, let's say, in a local gathering in your community? Can you talk about the impact that protesting in DC can actually have?
Protesting in DC is very impactful in terms of the scope and the audience. All the lawmakers are there. You know, when you plan a demonstration such as Hazami did there at Union Station, where a lot of the congressmen, representatives, travel back and forth in their commutes, either leaving DC or coming back to DC or traveling home for the evening after session. So many people see that, and or on the Lincoln Memorial, or in front of the Capitol. In front of the Capitol is another great place where, and in front of the actual rotunda where you have visitors and tourists that are there, seeing it and to protest and making a good statement, a good demand, a good reason that's clear that the average American can connect with. If you're talking about House Resolution 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's great to discuss with a congressman in their office or with a staffer who actually has agency in that HR or joint resolution in the Senate. When it comes to getting people informed and to grabbing people's attention, like that, when you see that and you're the average American and that catches your eye and you're like, that does make me question some of these things. Maybe I'm going to look into that a little bit more. So DC, obviously, great place to do it in terms of the audience, the tone, the gravity of it. People see it. You catch major news agencies. It spreads. But also not to undermine completely that in doing it in, hometown capitals or in hometowns, when you can have an impact. If you just choose a random Tuesday to go and have a protest and a demonstration and there's no one there to see it and no one gets the message, then I wouldn't say it's a complete waste of your time, but you're probably not having the impact. Just today in North Carolina, before I came on the show here, I was up in Raleigh at a protest and a demonstration and a press conference because over the last many months, North Carolina, the Palestinian Youth Movement, Code Pink, other organizations here in the Triangle area of North Carolina have been petitioning the North Carolina government, the North Carolina Senate, and the North Carolina, the state government to divest of all of its bonds and its investments in Israeli funds. And they did. Last week, they divested of $6.7 million in those bonds and funds. So today, with that announcement, they had a press conference / protest and demonstration to tell the people of that, to back that up, to show people that, hey, your voice matters. Every bit matters. North Carolina was not the only state. Washington State, there were a couple others too that divested of their bonds, that investments in Israeli bonds and Israeli investments. It's not going to be one grand slam out of the park, we win. It's going to be base hit after base hit after base hit and running the scores up, the American people doing it. So DC is there's so much gravity there when you're there, and the message that you make, it really gets to a lot of Americans that see that on TV and they're like, oh, they're in the Capitol. It must be important.
I agree. And I also think that visibility, I don't have the clip to play, but you and I both obviously have a very strong affinity for Medea Benjamin and Code Pink and the work that they do. If there is a great on-the-ground organized left contingent in the political arena, it is definitely Code Pink. They do not let up. In fact, there was a clip that Medea had made the other day regarding this pushing of the invasion for war in Venezuela. Obviously, it's to take over the oil reserves. The biggest supply of crude oil in the world is under Venezuela's soil. It's about 25% on the entire planet. It's trillions upon trillions of dollars worth of natural resources. And so naturally, you have Maria Elvira Salazar and Debbie Wasserman-Schultz pleading with the president of the United States to invade and save the Venezuelan people from Maduro, who just doesn't want to do business with the U.S.
Yeah.
And when Medea was able to confront Wasserman Schultz, I'm telling you, you want to talk about daggers for a person? I mean, that to me, I do think gets to them. They don't like seeing these people. They prefer to get away with their crimes against humanity in the shadows, not out in full view of the public. So I do think that there is an impact there. But I also want to say that there is definitely an impact in terms of the protests and to make sure that American-born Palestinian Mohammed Abraham was ultimately released. But I don't know how much of an impact Revolutionary Change had, but this was one of the recent Revolutionary Change PAC ads that got a lot of traction.
A teenager from Florida named Mohammed Ibrahim has been held in an Israeli prison for 8 months without being charged with a crime. Mohammed has lost a quarter of his body weight while in an Israeli prison, reportedly due to a lack of food. In July, Israeli settlers beat his cousin to death.
People in this country are waking up to realize that our leadership has been compromised by the Zionist agenda. You can help us take back this country for ourselves. Donate to Revolutionary Change now.
Simple but effective. And if you guys like that ad right over my shoulder, please use your phone and click on that QR code to check out revolutionarychangepac.org. We are making a slight wholesale change. We are currently supporting two candidates. One is Butch Ware, running for governor of California on the Green Party ticket, and the other is Kshama Sawant, running as an independent for Congress in Washington's 9th congressional district. We are currently not going to be supporting Graham Plattner. The biggest reason that we are at this point not supporting Graham is because he's got a hell of a financial war chest that he's working on. And we want to be as diligent as we can be with the money we're raising for the candidates who are going to need it. I mean, all candidates obviously need help with fundraising, but we want to be as strategic as possible. One of the things that ultimately ends up happening with a lot of these independent fundraising initiatives, especially for non-corporate and anti-Israel candidates, the fundraising is not easy to come by. So as of right now, we have two candidates, perhaps a third. The one that we are watching closely as a potential option would be Abdul El-Sayed, who is running for the U.S. Senate in the state of Michigan. But there will be others. So we will see what is going to be the best course of action. Right now, Kshama Sawant, Butch Ware, if you like what those candidates stand for, which is a populist left anti-Israel agenda, go check out Revolutionary Change PAC. And if you like those ads, there'll be plenty more where that came from. I don't know if we had an impact or not. Maybe we did. But the good news is that Mohammed is free. And that matters.